Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. Thanks for the Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And as a Patreon, you have access to exclusive Patreon reviews. I try to do 1 or 2 a month, and I think we have close to 45 in the archives. So check that out. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. Today we are going to be reviewing Glenmorangie 12-year-old versus the 10-year-old, and then also the 10-year-old before the rebranding. All right. Before I get into that, I'm just going to congratulate myself for going over 2,000 subscribers. To be honest, I've never really given it much thought, but YouTube actually started messaging me, congratulating me on hitting that 2,000 subscriber threshold. So thank you very much for all of my subscribers. Much appreciated. And a quick shout out to Ash's Whiskey Wars. He recently did a video giving a shout out to a few of his favorite or more watched personal connection fellow YouTubers. And anyway, so I'm just watch his show. I liked it. And what's interesting, there's kind of like a buzz going around. Daniel Whittington from the Whiskey Vault did a promotion a while back asking for YouTubers not to recommend themselves, but to recommend and vouch for another channel that they like. So someone like me, a small channel, I couldn't send him a submission and say, hey, check me out. But I did send one in for Shane from the Whiskey Lock. I don't know if he was contacted or not. But anyway, quite a few YouTubers are kind of reconnecting thanks to Daniel Whittington from the Whiskey Vault. So let's get on with the review here. All right. So in America, in the United States, we get Glenmorangie at 43% ABV. No mention of chill filtration, no mention of coloring. However, they probably are chill filtered. However, I don't think, and as a general rule, I don't think Glenmorangie color any or most of their products. Same thing with Ardbeg, even though Ardbeg doesn't say it a lot either. It's kind of assumed that they don't color. So color-wise, this is a low. This is the original 10-year-old before their rebranding, and it is low in the bottle. But to me, it does look lighter than the 10-year-old rebranding. And then the 10-year-old rebranding, which is now discontinued, is noticeably lighter than the newer 12-year-old, which kind of makes sense, right? Because the older 10-year-old probably had at least 10-year-old, so maybe it had some 11, 12-year-old in there. Whereas the 12-year-old has to be a minimum of 12-year-old, so it might even have some 13 or 14-year-old in there. We don't know. All right. Let's do the comparison. I think I'm going to start off with the new 12-year-old first. And also, too, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The older version, you can still find for about $42 to $43 in my area. But since the rebranding, the 12-year-old is now $58 to $60. And what I've also noticed is some of the bigger stores don't even have the old 10-year-old anymore. But I've noticed some of the stores that do have some of the older 10-year-old, the price kind of got bumped up to that. In other words, you could buy either the 10-year-old or the 12-year-old for about $58 or $60. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes price-wise, but the new 12-year-old in my area has seen a significant jump just in the last few weeks. closer to $60 now. So it's a significant price increase. All right, so the new 12-year-old. And as I'm reviewing it, I'm going to be just talking about the other ones. So the nose is sharper, but more subdued, if that makes sense. So on the nose, on the 12-year-old, I'm not getting as much of the fruits. It's more of the floral, perfume, vanilla coming through in the nose. However, on the palate, the 12-year-old, you're getting that peach, cocoa vanilla, cocoa powder, peach, a little bit of pineapple, as well as that floral perfume note is there. And there's a noticeably more noticeable oak spice in the 12-year-old, which makes sense. The finish I would describe as no more than medium, which has to do with the lower ABV. But the finish is a sweetness that fades more into a bitter oak spice. So the finish has a little bit more of the bitter oak spice than the 10-year-old, which everything kind of makes sense, right? You notice I only have one glass over here, which has the newer rebranding. Before the show, I was pre-gaming and doing the older 10. So the older 10, on the nose, blew away all of these. It had wallops of fruity goodness, and the nose is really rich and full. However, the palate was softer, but I think that's due to the bottle level. But you're still getting the floral and the orange notes on there, and the finish was medium as well, with less oak spice. Now the 10, which rebranded 10, we're going to do the review on that. So still on the nose, you're getting floral, vanilla, but I would say it's less pronounced. All the noses are less pronounced than this original 10-year-old, the older one. The nose was just a wallop of fruity Glenmorangie goodness. All right, so the nose on the newer 10 is not too off from the 12-year-old. It's more subdued than the older 10. And again, the floral vanilla on the palate. You're getting more orange, vanilla, less peach, less cocoa than the 12-year-old. And the finish, similar to the finish on the older original 10. The finish is a medium with a little bit less oak spice. So taking nostalgia out of the picture, because good luck finding the older 10-year-old. You might find some dusties somewhere. And actually what you might find is some of the liter bottles or 1.75 liter bottles, the big bottles of it. That's probably the only way you're going to find the old original. I really like this old original. I wish I had more of it. I don't. When I saw the transition coming, I did buy a couple of backups of the 10-year-old. But although these two have a lot of similarities, I think I would prefer the 12-year-old, the new 12-year-old, over the newer 10-year-old. Because you are getting a little bit more complexity on again, this 12-year-old, I'm getting more peach and some pineapple. And I think the 12-year-old offers a little more mild complexities than the 10-year-old. Is it worth the $60? I bought this to do the review. I probably won't be hunting it out again at $60. But score-wise, I would probably give the 12-year-old closer to a 7, meaning like very good, and the 10-year-old like a 6 plus, like a very good minus. It's good. It's a good plus, and this is probably very good on the minus scale. So probably closer to a 7 for the 12 and closer to a 6 for the 10-year-old. But I haven't done them blind. Everything's subjective. They're really close, but I think the 12-year-old does offer just a little bit more. That's what I have to say. We could go on and on and on, splitting hairs. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Consider becoming a Patreon. Hats off to you all, and take care, folks.